My name is Yuri Drugach and I work in Stopfish. And let me introduce some methods for assessing risks that you can use in your organization to assess how hard it will be to hack your org using the open data. Whether this data can be used for an attack. And we have two categories here. By the show of hands, who is CyberSec here? Pen testers, white hat? Okay, thank you. The ones who did not raise their hands are obviously black hats. So the plan is we run test emailings, then calculate email addresses, then calculate risks and reduce risks. So test mailings. This practice is present. You can run training attacks on your users or the customer's users. You can run two exercise attacks, and it's especially useful for the security team because they have the list of employees. And I'll give you an example with every victim of every vector. So for 20 out of 100, we will say that, of course, okay, every fifth person is vulnerable. And if you send those two mailing distributions, then you can benchmark. The worldwide benchmark is the B4 would roughly say that it's 4% of vulnerable personnel. So 4% would be a good result. 1 of 25 is a great result, and to compare 1 of 3, like 1/3 of the company, which is very usual state of affairs, not only in Russia, is a bad result. Here's an example of a phishing exercise. "200 people has opened the email, the labor protection group. Everyone opened the email. 199 went and clicked on the link. 24 have avoided. Only 24 credentials were gathered. So every 8, 12%. The example is here. A 0 and an M were highlighted. The original domain had 2 letters switched, and the sender was the wrong one. It was imitating Google Docs. Of course, Google was not used because Chrome would block it. An example online was a different domain, not the one that the organization used. So let's dig deeper. Hunter.io is a paid service, but we can actually use a free version that shows us the number, the amount of users. This information is in the open source, and if you pay like $5, you can download those users list. And you can even move further and deeper using social networks like Contact, LinkedIn, Facebook, and you check who has published the data saying, yes, I work in this company. Hunter.io can be used to create an email, name and surname, patronym. I can get the employees from the social networks, create some amount of emails to broaden the number of emails, But let's start with Hunter.io. Calculate the amount of users. So IT is leading. Nearly 1/3 of the email addresses of the organization are published. And if you go social, it's roughly 96%. So they've published all their emails of their IT people online. For other industries, it's lower, and we don't mention the company names. So the risk estimation, phishing reports after the mail distribution. It's not a benchmark, but we just have some ideas. So if more than half of your employees have reported that something has been sent, it's great. Every second person would be helping you by reporting. And thus the actor, if he sends more than 2 letters, you will probably know about this attack. And if it's less than 5%, then I see risk managers using those smiles to estimate the state of affairs. Just a cat to relax a bit. The most complex slide is this one. Let's look at the results and assess the risks. We have some metrics and some results to understand how it works. So we have 20 vulnerable employees per 100, and it was described on Harbor. So every 5th was leaked. They got 12 reports every 8th. So then the actor needs to send 5 letters to get 1 credential. They have like 436 emails, and only every 8th will send the report. To be a little bit scientific, let's divide the average amount of vulnerable employees divided by the amount of reports. It's 0.6. We send only 5 letters, but only every 1 in 8 employees will report it. So the chances of the successful attack without reporting is quite high. But the risks can be just estimated and forecasted. So let's reduce the risks. Speaking of the email addresses that are published and that can be gathered to get information about your org, you might need to reduce the amount of emails published. Not everyone actually has such a bad situation. You have organizations with 6 or 7 emails published. And if the amount of people who click on the phishing links is low, then usually the actors will choose another target. It's quite easy to reduce the amount of emails, of course. Or you can also use temporary emails, for example, for HR sites. For the people who understand that something malicious may come, you can add prefixes to the email for the new employees. You know, if you have 5,000 of old ones, yeah, probably you won't change their emails. But if you have a person and a department, then it will be harder for a person to calculate the type, the prefix. You can use masks name, surname, name, just abbreviations, to reduce the simplicity of the patterns that can be used to identify the rules. And there are systems where you can set up, say, 25 emails come to the org. Anti-spam systems, if they don't have that, those emails, if they get 25 similar emails, then the security guy will check and block them, understanding what's going on. Exercises, training. The employees need to know that they can report the case in a very simple form. And the training priorities. We have people that are out in the wild whose emails are published. They need to be trained, definitely, first of all. They need to be the first target of exercise. Then we need to train the people in their team. So like with labor protection, the behavior will be very similar, and they will be easy targets. IT and accountants will probably be seen more often as targets. And they usually do. They know a lot. Okay, I won't be going down that rabbit hole. You should train everyone in your headquarters. And if they are imitated, then the branches can be also compromised. So if you need to prioritize, here's the sequence. There's a free tool, maybe it will help you. How to understand that the link is phishing, and how to understand that the file is malicious. And of course, stop fish free. It has a bit more features than Go Fish, and it's part of the Russian software registry. A couple of links for those who did not have time to follow the QR code. For pen testers, Stopfish is the most important one, and for the IB service, for info security service, there's also a set of resources. Thank you. And if you have any questions, I actually have a couple of gifts. I understand we have a couple of minutes, so people asking questions will get some prizes. The books, social engineering books. Yes, please. If you'd like to correct the estimation method, then thank you. Thank you for the presentation. And the question is, you've shown an email, and it has a Google link. How did you gather the Google accounts? No, we did not. We just took the list of people, because we are not testing the infrastructure, we are only testing the people. We have our wait lists, same as whitelists, same as we are internal security. So we don't test the filters, we only test the people reaction. And over here we also have a question. Did you use canary tokens in your practice, and how effective they were? Yeah, we started our pen test and social activity starting with canary tokens. We're packing executables with trackers. Yeah, we took a calculator. We needed a track. So we took the calc.exe and exe and enabled people to download it. And for some reason, they said, I have macOS, I cannot open it. And we gave them a different version. And we didn't use GoFish. We just used Canary token for tracking. It's not much time, so maybe the last question. And if you raised your hand, just come to me to get your book. A strange question, but we had 200 letters sent, and only 24 people gave their credential. But if they just follow the link, yeah, I agree, absolutely. If they just follow the link, depending on the mastery of the social engineer, they, of course, would ensure that 80% will need to do something on the side. Some of our customers calculate following the link as an incident. And for some, they say, if you run a macro, so if you get the credentials, then it's an incident. Old people, accountants, how do you train them? They don't want to get trained. Yeah, we had some cases like this with like 80%. Ignoring the info security service, so they were blacklisting them and ignoring them. So we used the quantum course. When the the employee has followed the phishing link, then we show them the screen with training, highlighting where the mistake was and explaining that this might lead to this. And if you'd like to follow the course, then people would ignore it probably, but after 2 or 3 incidents like that, and the security guy showing the statistics, with people who are not trained, still, in a list, and 80%, being good, then people start worrying and train more and more. So this is like quantum course, very short one. Thank you, colleagues. Thanks indeed. Please come to get the books. I'm here.